All right, here we are back for episode 2. So last month I put out the very first episode of this kind of web series I'm starting, and I had that leg day. If you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check it out. And then today I'll be bringing you the next one. Before I go any further, obviously there's a lot of complications and in this pandemic with the whole virus and everything. So first and foremost, although I do want you guys to be as active as possible and still keep your fitness in check, of course safety first, do all the things that are being put out to the public as far as guidelines, like sanitize your hand washing washing your hands, just refraining from touching your face while you're out, stay indoors as you need to be, listen to the quarantine directions and so on and so forth. All right, so I just want to put that out there first, make sure that you're safe before we do anything else. Okay, now that's done with, this episode, we're going to focus on a total body workout. So the reason being, number one, first and foremost, is because I know a lot of gyms across the nation are closed down. So because of that, having equipment is pretty hard. Now I'm going to go through a total body workout that will consist of dumbbells and body weighted stuff. If you don't happen to have dumbbells, you can find household things such as maybe some cans that are pretty heavy, bottles, anything that has just a little bit of weight to it so that you can do at least one portion of today's workout. All right, aside from that, everything else is pretty much body weighted, as I mentioned, so all you need is literally yourself. And I know you can't tell, but I'm inside of my home right now too. Just to goes to show you that I'm not in a gym where I can get access to certain things. I do have the one piece of equipment, which is the dumbbells that I mentioned. So but again, you can use other things to kind of substitute it. So I'll go over the warm-up today, which will be completely body weighted. I'll take you through a circuit using the dumbbells, take you through some body weight stuff, and then that'll kind of conclude today. It'll be a little shorter than usual, but again, times are a little uncertain, are a little crazy right now, so let's just try to get what we can done. So as I mentioned, first and foremost, all right, we're gonna get the body warmed up. So with this warm-up sequence, all we're gonna need is literally ourselves, nothing else except a timer. So you can use your phone, stopwatch, timer, whatever allows you to track 30 seconds. So what we're gonna do is 6 exercises. We're gonna knock every single one out consecutively. Every exercise we're gonna do for 30 seconds, as I mentioned, right before we go on to the next one. So once we get done the whole sequence, so all 6 exercises for 30 seconds, we're gonna pause. I want you to take a little break, okay? 30 seconds again, and then we're gonna repeat that whole thing one more time. So the first time through, I want you to go nice and light, low impact, nothing too crazy. All right, we're just gonna kind of get our body into the rhythm. Second time through, I want you to pick up the pace, okay? Your heart rate should speed up. You should start maybe breaking a little bit of a sweat, but again, should be a much more intense, a little more, kind of going harder the second time as opposed to the first. So again, 6 exercises, knock them all out consecutively, rest 30 seconds, do it again at a faster rate, and then we'll go straight into all the dynamic stuff and then head right into the workout. All right, so knocked all that stuff out, but again, I only went through the whole thing one time through just so you'll know exactly what to do. But again, once you go through that one time, take a little break and then repeat one more time, but increase the intensity, okay? Again, for the sake of the video, I only did it one time through, but let's go for 2. Now, afterwards, very similar to how we did last episode, we had you do the dynamic stretching sequence. We're gonna do that same thing, okay? So I'm gonna walk you guys through it again. Just make sure that as you're doing this, you really get that stretch, okay? So don't kind of just do it passively. Don't just kind of go through the motions. Really feel the stretch, right? You want your body to be primed, ready to go, flexible. You don't want to try to risk any type of strains or anything of that nature just because you didn't want to warm up. So let's make sure to warm up thoroughly, stretch nice and hard, and then that'll take us to our first part of today. Okay, so all that is out the way. We got our body temperature up. All right, got a little bit of a sweat going. Probably can't see it from there, but I promise. And afterwards, we went through the dynamic sequence as far as the stretching, some of those activations. And now we're gonna go ahead and straight into the first part of today. So as I mentioned, it is a total body day, so we're gonna hit everything. The first sequence that we're gonna do does require the only piece of equipment I mentioned, and those will be dumbbells, okay? So got a pair right here. Since today is a total body day, the sequence that we're gonna do is gonna utilize both upper and lower body movements. So we're gonna do them right after each other. For example, we're gonna grab the dumbbells and we're gonna start off doing a lower body exercise. Once we get done with that, we're gonna go straight into an upper, lower, for a total of 6 exercises, okay? Once we've gone through that whole sequence once, I want you to take a recovery, okay? So take a little rest time. I want you to go for about 90 seconds, okay? About 60 to 90 seconds, how much you feel is appropriate for you. And then we're gonna do this whole thing 2 more times, okay? So a total of 3 sets of this. And again, total body movements. Once we get done with the dumbbells, we're gonna go straight into the second portion of it, all right? But first, let's get started with these. So first up, we have goblet squats. Now when doing these, pretty straightforward. It's just like doing a traditional squat, except with having the weights right in front of us. This causes more of a front load so that you may recruit your core a little more while doing these as opposed to the traditional back squat. Next, all right, we're gonna go upper body as I mentioned. Let's hit these hammer curls. Now with the hammer curls, you wanna make sure to keep your elbows in tight by your sides. You wanna let the arms hang all the way until they're fully extended. Curl all the way up. You ideally wanna get that dumbbell to your shoulders. You can kind of see right there. All right, let's knock out 12 repetitions of these. Immediately after, we're gonna go back to that goblet position, okay? So anytime you hear me say goblet, it's just keeping the weight in that front section as I mentioned. So you can use, dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever the case is. But again, holding the dumbbells in that position is a goblet. And then you'll see while I'm doing these, I'm doing reverse lunges. And I am also making sure to alternate every step. Let's knock out 6 on each leg. Continuing on with the trend, as I mentioned, all right, we're gonna go upper body next. So now we're gonna hit the triceps. So as you do these, as you can see, I'm kind of squeezing the dumbbells together so that I can keep everything fairly narrow. All right, we're gonna really isolate those triceps. You wanna keep your shoulders locked into place and all the movement is gonna be in those elbows. Fully extended and then all the way down, back behind your head. And yes, as you can see, I kind of hit myself on the head. Next up, we're gonna go right down, all right, back to the lower body. Let's knock out these single leg RDLs. For you, those of you that don't know, RDL just stands for Romanian deadlift. I had to take a step up to do these because I was hitting the wall with that foot, but you'll be able to see a better view of the exercise here at the side. All right, notice that I'm using my hips as like an axis. So as long as those dumbbells are going down, the rear foot is gonna continue rising up. Okay, let's go 6 each leg. Let's knock out 1 leg before we hit the other. And lastly, all right, back to the upper body. Let's hit those reverse flies. Okay, we're gonna hit the back there and then all the muscles of the scapula. You see when I'll turn to the side, my body position. Okay, here we go. Back is as flat as I can keep it. Chest is parallel to the ground. Okay, you want to open up nice and wide. Try to get those dumbbells as high as you comfortably can, and then bring them all the way back down in the center. Okay, got the dumbbell circuit out of the way. Okay, so I did obviously only go through it for the sake of the video 1 time through, but as I mentioned beforehand, go ahead and knock out 2 to 3 sets, ideally 3. Just make sure to take that rest, that 60 to 90 seconds in between each set, all right, so that you're kind of good to go, you catch your breath and all that good stuff before we go back to attacking the next couple sets. So now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and take it to the ground, and we're gonna wrap up with a body weight thing, okay? By body weight, I mean specifically push-up circuit, okay? There's, contrary to, a lot of people's beliefs, there's a lot of variations of push-ups you can do. I do have 3 push-up circuits. I have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced. We're just gonna go through the beginner one today, okay? Nothing too crazy. And keep in mind that when you do these, you can do them either traditional push-ups, meaning hands and feet are the only thing that touch the ground, or we can do a modified. So modified just means coming from your knees, okay? When you do these, you want to knock out in between 8 to 10 repetitions. So meaning you hit at least 8, you're good, all right? But again, strive to try to hit that 10 with every single one. Okay, so we're gonna go through this whole sequence twice, and that's it, okay? Just 2 times through. Ideally, you wanna knock the push-ups out, take a maybe 15 to 20 second rest before you go straight into the next one, straight into the next one, straight into the next one. And then once you get from the first to the last one, once you hit that last one, we'll take that longer break in between, okay? About another 90 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes, depending on how you're feeling, because we already got the circuit, the dumbbell circuit out the way. And then repeat 1 more time, okay? So let's go ahead and hit this push-up circuit and then wrap today up. All right, so number 1, as I'm telling you right there, first push-up, Good old standard traditional push-up. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Just make sure that as you're doing these, you do want to keep your elbows a little more by your sides. You never want to let your elbows flare out to the sides too much, okay? You want to protect your shoulders. Number 2. We're going to go wide, okay? You're going to see me begin by putting my hands in the traditional push-up position, and then you're going to see me move them out as far as I can go. And then you'll notice in this angle right here, as I go, my hands are also slightly turned out too, okay? Want to make sure you save your wrists as well by doing so. 3rd, we did traditional, we did regular, all right? Then we did wide, now let's go narrow. So as we're doing these, you really want to make sure to keep your elbows tight in by your sides as much as you can. And you'll also see from this angle that my shoulders are directly over my hands, okay? That's how narrow you want to be. You do want to keep it very close in here. All right, this is more of a tricep dominant push-up. 4. Now, I'm going to start off like we're doing a regular push-up. We're going to move one hand up and one hand back, okay? I like to call these alternate hand placement push-ups. Not sure if there's an actual terminology for it, but that's what we're going to call them. So again, you'll see here, move one hand up, one hand back, okay? Just hitting each pec a little differently when our hands are in this position. Now with this one, make sure you do 8 to 10 each side. Number 5. These oblique push-ups or Spider-Man push-ups, they're referred to as both, but just make sure that as you're descending, okay, so as you're going down, you want to bring that knee up towards the same side elbow, okay? So here, see, right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow. Okay, make sure you're doing it as you go down. Number 6, as you can see, I'm a little tired, but bear with me. Now we're going to go diamond, okay, diamond. So pretty straightforward. Make a diamond with your hands, okay? This is another pretty tricep dominant one. Again, keep the elbows by your sides, very similar to the narrow hand placement one, but again, just a little different. Make sure to get that full extension on the way up, get down nice and low. And 7th and last, as I said, right there. Very last push-up of the day, one of my favorites. All right, let's go ahead and knock out these plyo push-ups. Yep, right there. I want to make sure you explode off the ground, okay? You don't have to go, 10 feet in the air or anything like that. Nothing too wild, but again, you do want to do enough to where you do get off of the ground, okay? You want to have a little bit of hang time. All right, and so now we got the push-up stuff out of the way. We are all set. Just keep in mind that when you do the push-ups, okay, we're going to go 2 sets. Again, for the sake of the video, I went through it 1 time, but again, get to the end, all right, take a little break in between, repeat it 1 more time, okay? So that concludes the day. Again, times are a little weird with this virus going around and, people having to quarantine and stay inside, but just because you're inside doesn't mean that you can't still get some type of work in, okay? So again, we did the dumbbell stuff today. We did the push-ups. After we warmed up, stretched and everything, all right, got our bodies nice and primed. And then the last thing, do not forget to cool down and stretch, okay? The same sequence that I used for the last video as far as the cool down, you can do that same one, okay? It's just very basic stretches. Just hold each one for, again, just hold each stretch as a part of the cool down until you feel nice, relaxed, your muscles don't feel as tense. And then, of course, in the perfect world, get a protein source in you as soon as you can, some type of post-workout, okay, so that your muscles can start rebuilding as fast as they can and get you primed and recovered and ready to go for the following workout, okay? So again, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate you checking out this video. Go ahead and, leave a comment, leave your thoughts, whatever the case may be. And if there's any type of questions, regarding this video, anything health fitness related or anything that I can be of service and help you out with, and you don't necessarily want to put it out there to the public, just shoot me a DM, okay? We'll discuss there in the messenger, and then I'll try to answer any questions that you have, all right? Happy lifting, stay safe during this weird, strange, uncertain time, and stay up, stay active, stay healthy.